Sideline Sports Show. For a Wayne to the world. Brice got the box score, calm on the mic. Pulling up numbers from last Friday night. Sack gyms packed, rivalries loud. He'll tell you who balled out, who hyped the crowd. DC slide in with the hold up weight. Spicy little rant, that's a hot take plate. Coach talk, Pacers talk, all in the mix. Midwest mind with that ESPN fix. Hey! Sideline Sports Show, Brice and DC. From the Fort Wayne courts to the big TV. Indiana Hoosiers dream.
Welcome into the Sideline Sports Show. I'm Brice Vance, that's DC Hendricks here on a Sunday morning live on YouTube, our Facebook page, and DC Hendricks X page as well. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel. I know we had some subscribers go up in the past week after we announced our tournament challenge, and we'll give you guys an update on that here in a second as we are in the middle of the NCAA tournament, and it has been I'll say a good tournament to start off. I haven't been too overwhelmed. But he's fantastic is the line in DC. Okay, well, I'll get into that. Let's get some housekeeping out of the way. We are a part of the Get Indiana podcast network. Make sure you get to getindiana.com for your destination for everything Indiana, from festivals to event blog posts, spotlighting hidden gems, local businesses, and small towns across the Hoosier State. Make sure you discover what is so special about this place and subscribe to the newsletter, their weekly newsletter. I just got it in my inbox this morning. At the top of their page, getindiana.com. We are proud to be a part of the Get Indiana podcast network. Make sure you guys are chiming in on the comments on our YouTube or Facebook, and we'll pull them up here on the show. You can subscribe and follow us everywhere at Brice and DC on social media. And as I said, we had a little jump up in subscriber count after we announced our tournament challenge. It was a $100 gift card to the local restaurant of the winner's choosing. But you also have to be subscribed to our YouTube channel. And right now at the top of the leaderboard is a longtime listener. And it wouldn't surprise me if he's listening right now or listening back later on to the show, is Hunter Sossenheimer.
I'm going to present the stand. You want me to present the standings?
Yeah, go ahead and put them on. Because I know I've seen a lot of familiar names in our standings here, especially at the top. Hunter's at the top, and then I know who's tied with Hunter.
Crazy,
your girlfriend's father, and
probably hasn't watched since Bob Knight was leading the Hoosiers.
And then we have Rick, who is Hunter's dad, at the top. So I wonder if there's a little something going on between those two. Hey, make sure you pick the opposite, even though it would be hard for them to still kind of be at the top of the standings. But still, if either one of those two guys get it, then it's somebody's treating somebody to dinner in the Sossenheimer family. Then we have a familiar face, Logan Weening, at the top as well.
Hey.
A couple of other names I know in here. My cousin Dan Vance, who was a guest on the show. We had a Coach Schaefer, who joined us last week. He's in the top as well. And then we got some other familiar names as well. Me and you, DC, we're near the bottom. We are near the bottom. Technically, in the standings, you and I are tied.
I'm trying to see some of the names. Oh, look, Coach Ben Johnson, the North Side too. Couple football coaches in there.
All right, yeah. Some of these are under some names that I have no idea who they are.
Yeah,
so we'll have to get that all figured out.
I'm assuming this is Houston Ellinger from Dwenger.
That would probably make sense.
Yeah,
But then we have Austin Huff, who's in there as well. I know Cale DeVoe, who's chimed in on the show on the stream before, is on there as well. So yeah, we have quite a few people that were in there. We got about 30 people. 30 people in the group
right here. That's Ty Layson.
Okay.
He went from Homestead. He's at Manchester. He's a pitcher at Manchester University.
All right. Awesome.
So got a wide variety joining us on the.
Yeah. I'm super excited. I'm glad and thankful for everybody who joined in.
Tom Shrine didn't make any picks.
Joined the group but forgot.
Oh man, that's terrible.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yeah.
We have a jam-packed show for you guys today, and it's going to be basketball heavy as it has been these last few weeks, and it will continue to be because we have some semi-states to talk about. We have 2 teams from the 260 that are going to the state finals next weekend down in Indianapolis. We also have Purdue, who tips off in about an hour, taking on Miami for a chance to go to the Sweet 16. And then we have Keion Brooks Jr., who is a small forward for the Noblesville Boom, has been traveling around in the NBA these last couple of years and is finally getting the chance to play in his home state. He's been with Birmingham, the New Orleans Pelicans, G League affiliate for the last couple of years. He actually had a stint in the NBA for about 14 games with the Pelicans last year. So we're going to get his thoughts on his NBA experience so far. His interview is coming up at noon. So if you're
probably going to rant on the Indiana Pacers for why he's not wearing a Pacers uniform. I mean,
yeah. Well, he's only been there for about
dropping 40.
Yeah, I know. He dropped 40 in his first game for the Boom, and he's only been there for about 7 games. So
I don't care.
I think the reason why they don't want to bring him up is
the amount of games they've won this season.
I know. They probably don't want to bring him up because he gives them a better chance to win, and they don't want to win right now. So that's the logic going through my head right now, that I think they don't want to bring him up because they just want to continue to be bad
the rest of the season and still be at the bottom.
I know. That's just the logic that I'm thinking that is going through the Pacers brass right now. I could be wrong, probably am wrong, but it's just you shook your head vigorously.
Like you're making excuses for him, which is not.
I like you. I wish he was with the Pacers. It would be nice to see him in a Pacers uniform. I think that would be something that you could sell across the whole state of Indiana. You have one of your own who grew up playing here. Now, unfortunately, he went to Kentucky when I believe he had offers from Indiana at the time, decided not to go there. Went to Kentucky. I'm just going to move on. Then he went out to Washington, and then he's been in the NBA system for the last couple of years. So we'll get more of his thoughts coming up at noon. So make sure you tune in for Keion Brooks Jr. Let's talk about some of the semi-state results from yesterday. They were all scattered across the state. We have two teams, like I said, going down to Gamebridge next weekend. We have the New Haven Bulldogs. We had Coach Appleton on last week. If you want to go back, you can check out his interview on our YouTube page or our Facebook page. It's up there. Fantastic. He's a great coach, one of the best coaches in the area, in my opinion. And they were able to handle Delta in the first game, I believe, and then were faced off against a familiar foe in the Columbia City Eagles, an NE8 opponent. And the game was back and forth, got off to a hot start, and it was back and forth. Columbia City took a lead in the second half that I thought maybe New Haven will come back, and they did. And they were able to tie the game with about 1:30 left. Tavar Baskerville had 15 of his 17 points in the final quarter, including the game-winning shot with 2.4 left. And it's just been a great story because this team was on nobody's radar throughout the entire season. I think they were one of the only unranked teams to make it this far, especially in Class 3A. And they're going to be taking on number 3 Cathedral in the Class 3A State Finals next Saturday night. And it's just been a great story that continues to be for New Haven this year.
Yeah, one big thing and one big takeaway from last week when we talked to Coach Appleton. One thing I noticed, there was media there this time. Shout out the media for listening to Coach Appleton. Media. And showing up, getting those pictures and videos, all kind of New Haven pictures and videos yesterday, since didn't have much else to do because not a whole lot of other, unfortunately, Lures lost, ran into that buzzsaw, literally. But still a great run by Bishop Lures. Snyder had a good run. They got beat pretty badly too. So a lot of media there for, New Haven's victory. Baskerville continues to be one of the best we have in our area. Huge victory, and hopefully they have, awoken the media, not only locally, but, in the entire state. This is a team, like you said, I love these kind of stories because nobody was talking about this team. during the regular season? Nobody,
Right.
like we knew they had talent. We knew about Baskerville. We've been hearing his name all year, but this is one of those kind of runs that, you remember for a while. It's like, man, remember out of nowhere that New Haven Bulldogs team just made that deep run to the state tournament, to the state championship out of nowhere. Like, it's
Right.
going to be one of those moments that we remember for a long time. And I'm loving this run for New Haven and Coach Appleton. Well deserved. Love his energy. I think he's going to, and if he hasn't already, become one of the most respected coaches in the area. I believe this run solidifies that as a response. So I'm really loving this run. That's why we brought Coach Appleton on last week, is just because even if they lost yesterday, still a great run. But the fact that they won and will be playing for a state championship, just it's so great, not only for our area, but it's good for the state to have these kind of stories to tell, and not the same old teams playing in the state championship. So it's good for the area, but good for the state.
Yeah. I mean, they will face Cathedral, who has been to the state finals several times. So that'll be one interesting thing to follow, is how does that game start out? Because you have a program like Cathedral, who is used to playing on a little bit bigger of than New Haven is. Not saying that they play in the Cambridge Fieldhouse. They just play in bigger environments and bigger games against higher level competition down around Indianapolis. And I think New Haven will handle it well. I'm hoping that they do, because, like you said, this has been a great story that kind of came out of nowhere. And I was trying to rack my brain for teams who have made these runs recently, and I really can't think of too many teams. I mean, I want to say like the Fremont girls this past year. It kind of came out of nowhere. They've had talent on that. They had talent on that team. It was just kind of just bringing it all together, and it's kind of a little smaller of a story just because they're in Class 1A and a really small school up in Fremont. So that is probably the most close comparison I can think of at the moment. There's probably better examples if anybody can think of a team coming out of nowhere. Throw it in the chat and we'll put it up on the show. But it's really great to see these stories that, like you said, come out of nowhere, don't get a whole lot of media attention, but still keep persevering and keep battling all the way through the tournament, because they had to go through some stiff competition, including Columbia City, who's a really good team. I thought,
Yeah.
I think we
There
said
was overtime against them earlier this season,
right?
So I knew it was going to be a battle.
Yeah, and I think we talked about after the sectionals that Columbia City was one of those teams that you could see making a deep run, and they were right there until the very end. Like I said, it was a tie ball game, and with a minute 30 left, and man, somebody had to come out on top, and it went New Haven's way this time.
Right.
So first time.
So for Cathedral and New Haven, one thing that I noticed, and it's always tough to compare, these two different area teams, and the only team that they both played this season was an Indianapolis Chatard team. They both beat them, but I will say the Cathedral beat them a little bit more soundly, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
They beat Chatard 81-46, and New Haven beat them 58-48. So that's pretty much the only measuring stick we have in comparison between the two teams. But both beat them. But
yeah,
so you already know I'm going with the Bulldogs all the way.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to support the local team no matter what. And I think they have the talent to do it. I'm anticipating that they're gonna try and slow the pace down and make it a lower scoring game. And just like you said, you mentioned that result against Chatard. I mean, Cathedral scoring up in the 80s is probably something they do often. So it's probably gonna have to be a slow the game down a little bit, and hopefully you can score some points in the half court there. So the other team on the other side, in Class 2A from the 260 that is going down to the state finals, it was going to be somebody from the 260 in Class 2A. Is either going to be Westview or Bishop Luers, because they matched up in the semi-state final yesterday, and it was Westview taking an early lead and just running away from the Knights in the second half. And Westview, very, very good team. It's a very solid fundamental team, one you would expect from a Westview team and Chandler Pribble team. And Austin Schlaball with 27 points. The kid has been a stud. So has Caden Grau, has been really good as well. And Westview is no stranger to the state finals. They have a couple of appearances here most recently. At least this century, they've been down, I think, at least 3 times. I think their most recent one is 2014, and they're going back there for the first time in 12 years. And it's going to be tough to beat Westview because this team can shoot it. This team that runs their offense efficiently, knows how to move the ball and get open shots, and aren't afraid to take open shots. So it's going to be a very good game against Park Heritage in Class 2A. I think that one could be a who has the ball last kind of situation. Could come down to the final possession for that game.
Only a couple close games all season for this Westview team, and a couple of them were in the tournament. LaPel and Gary 21st Century were the only really close games throughout the rest of the schedule. They've pretty much destroyed all their competition all season. So only one blemish on season, 27-1 for Westview. So they got to go in as a favorite. I know, you know, that might be a local thing for us, as they're about 42 minutes away from where we are, about 40 minutes, about a 40-minute drive. Not that far. I've driven further for a lot worse. So, so we got them. They'll be representing Northeast Indiana, representing the area, and a team that, you know, we've been following a little bit as well. Not probably a lot, you know, more than we've been following like the SAC, you know, because those schools are right here in the heart of the 260 area. So we follow them a little more extensively. But this is another team that I believe this one hasn't flown under the radar, though. This is one that has been talked about all season. You talked about, you know, a couple of guys that have been, you know, balling for them. But when it comes to best players in the area, Schlaball is one of the best that I've seen in at least the last 5 years on the boys' side. It just continues to put, what'd you say, you had 27?
27 yesterday.
Yeah. 27.
Yeah, dude.
The game to go to the state championship. What a statement. You know, players like him in Baskerville help run the boys' side and help create, you know, continue that argument. You know, has boys basketball in our area went down a little bit in terms of talent. And you have those two guys. Baskerville, like this comment right here mentions, I forgot about that. Baskerville's only a junior. So he'll be back next year for New Haven. Crazy.
Goodness. Yeah.
But yeah, tons of talent in this area, and Westview continues to represent us. 27-1, looking good for that state championship matchup.
Yeah, and their only loss was to Northridge, who beat Homestead yesterday and was in a semi-state final. So that just goes to show you, even though they have one loss, it wasn't to any slouch. It was to a Northridge team that was hoping to make history of their own and get down to the state final.
So
yeah, and they were hoping to get down to the state finals for the first time, and a really talented Northridge team that, again, if you want to talk about buzzsaws, Crown Point is a buzzsaw, because that's who I think Snyder lost to, and then Northridge ended up losing to yesterday. And just a team that is just incredibly talented in Northridge, and as well as Crown Point. I'm excited for that matchup that they will have next week. So it should be a good state finals, and we have 2 teams locally down there, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week as well, as we get the final results of the games. And it should be a fun and entertaining weekend. So far in the NCAA tournament, I've been underwhelmed. I've been underwhelmed. Just there's been moments. You had the Kentucky Santa Clara game that was great and went back and forth. You had Duke almost losing in the first round.
Bro.
You had Nebraska and Vanderbilt last night. Was an unbelievable game. It was an unbelievable environment. They were playing that game in Oklahoma City, and you could just tell that place was rocking because it was just so loud. I don't know if the producer in the truck was like, "Hey, let's turn up the crowd volume just a little bit," because this place from like the jump. I was like, God, this just sounds different, because this game, and there's so many Nebraska fans that were there. Obviously, they are going to the Sweet 16 for the first time. They've gotten their first 2 NCAA tournament victories ever. So it's an incredible run by Nebraska. And we talked about them, I think, on like our very first show. Is like, this is a team that has got just an unbelievable amount of shooters, and Sanford is ridiculous. And I don't know what else to say about this Nebraska team, because it was incredible. They almost lost because that shot by Vanderbilt, in and out. It was absolutely wild. And
under me that movie with the Waynes, the 6 man, the movie where he had the brother that was the ghost standing at the rim, blocking the ball out, knocking the ball out for the other team. That's what it reminded me of. That shot was crazy. But as bad as my bracket is, Nebraska is one of the ones I got right all the way through.
I didn't pick Nebraska.
I needed it. I needed that help because my bracket might as well be thrown in the trash. I was last place for a while. The only person that was under me was the person that didn't even make picks. I was the only person that was under me for like the entire first day. Yeah.
So we had a comment here from Adam. How are you underwhelmed, especially with Texas knocking off Gonzaga? I say, exactly. I expect Gonzaga to lose every single year.
Not that early.
No, they've had a few runs where they've gone to the championship game, but I just don't expect them to make a really deep run. I think Gonzaga is. I just think they're going back to a team where they make the Sweet 16 or get knocked out early. They'll make the tournament every single year because of the conference they're in, but I just don't expect them to do very much. So I was like kind of half expecting this to happen anyways at some point. I was surprised that it's Texas, a team that was 4 games above 500 coming into the tournament, and I think really hasn't proved that they should be. This speaks to like so many average teams being in the tournament because of the bubble was being so weak this year that you had like a team like Indiana was on the bubble and one of the last 4 teams out. Like, so it was just like, how is this team? Yes. So that I was surprised that Texas is still 30 I mean, that would have been crazy. Like, I would be like probably through the moon. I was hoping. I picked Santa Clara over Kentucky and was hoping that, because like when Santa Clara hit that shot, I'm like, holy smokes, I can't believe they've done it. Is Mark Pope going to lose his job because he's been under fire this whole time because this is a $22 million roster, and they're going to get bounced in the first round? I was hoping. I think a lot of people from our neck of the woods are
feel
hoping.
Like you're alone on being underwhelmed, brother. Ohio State TCU.
It's a good game.
Great game. Good game.
I'm probably just recency bias on this one because yesterday kind of sucked. There was a lot of blowouts yesterday, and the games yesterday were just not.
That's usually
great.
How it is, though. The first round is usually when you get the most.
Yeah, but this was the second round yesterday. You had
the first round is when you usually get the most excited. That's usually how it is. You usually get a couple blowouts in this round.
Yeah, but you had Michigan winning by 20 or more, Duke, Houston winning by 20 or more, Illinois winning by 20 or more. Like I said, we were saved by that Nebraska Vanderbilt game that was back and forth last night, and even Arkansas High Point was pretty exciting until the very end. So it was just I was just maybe expecting a little bit more, and maybe we're getting it more. We get more today. I'm hoping because we have Purdue, who tips off in here in about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
But
somebody's siding with you.
See? It was like no real surprises. I think this was the second time in a row that a 13 or higher seed didn't win a game. So we didn't have like these huge upsets. And like the biggest one was High Point over Wisconsin. And
I was so mad. I literally had that upset picked on my bracket, and then like I usually go through and second guess myself, which always messes it up even more. And that was when I changed.
Well, at least you're not like Colin Cowherd, who had like a team get eliminated and then somehow reappeared in the Elite Eight. Go look at his bracket if you can find it. Like he hand wrote it, so that's why it was. And then he posted the picture of it on social media. And
this is also one of our contestants in our bracket challenge.
How's Tim doing? I don't think Tim's doing great.
Let's see how Tim. Let me go. I gotta go back.
I gotta search it. I was looking. I think you know what, he might actually be doing okay.
I thought he was doing pretty well too.
Yeah, he's tied for third. So Tim's doing good.
Yeah.
So he knows
only 10 points behind the leaders.
Yeah, he knows his stuff. He knows his stuff. He knows that it's been no real surprise.
Yeah, it's baseball practicing a little bit. I'm surprised he's watching. Dedication. I love
it. But I'm hopeful that today is better as far as more competitive games. It should be. And that's why I'm thinking that maybe next weekend as well will also be more competitive when you have these teams at the top that just keep on winning. You know, we can get through this first weekend, which is
Kansas St. John's great. Good.
Yeah, I think Purdue Miami will be a good game. Miami's
about to blow them out.
I'm interested. All right, so let's talk about this. I wanted to get your thoughts on the game today. And Purdue has still been playing unbelievably well. Blew out Queens in the first round, and I got a text from our buddy Kale, who's a huge Purdue fan. He was texting me late in the second half. He's like, "This has been like the most stress-free game
in a long time."
He's like, "I love it when I get a stress-free game." And I honestly, I didn't watch the second half. Like, or after they got up by like 15 or more, I was like, it's over. There's nothing this team can do.
For another game.
It's like there's just nothing that this team has done wrong here recently.
You better not show that comment that just went on. I will. Don't do it.
I won't do it. But it feels like that this team is peaking at the right time. As we said last week, after they made at that point last week's show, they hadn't won the Big Ten tournament, but it just felt like the way that they were playing, they were more connected on defense. Offensively, it felt like they were in a rhythm, getting contributions from different guys from all over, including Fletcher, Jack Benter, Oscar Clough. It just felt like you're getting contributions from so many different guys that it feels like it's going to be tough to beat this team. And Miami is a good defensive team. I just think the size interior for Purdue might overwhelm them a little bit because one of their tallest guys is Malik Renew, who former Hoosier. So they have experience going up against Malik. So I'm excited to see that matchup because him and Trey Kaufman-Wren have gone at it now for 4 years in a row. So I'm excited to see that matchup inside. And congratulations to Braden Smith, who got the all-time assist record now.
The matchup inside, I give Miami. I think Miami's size could end up causing some problems if Purdue can't rebound early. I think that's an advantage for Miami, to be honest.
I think they do have to have an emphasis on rebounding because Miami loves to shoot. They will put up shots so quickly from all over. Trey Donaldson is really good, former Michigan Wolverine. So Purdue has experience going up against him as well. So it's a lot of familiarity in this matchup. I think it should be a higher scoring game. I'm anticipating these two teams going back and forth, and it should be a fun one.
As long as the game doesn't turn into what a lot of people would refer to as a track meet, because Miami's more athletic.
Yeah, they are.
And if it becomes a track meet and fast breaks, Miami's going to end up blowing them out of the water. So Purdue needs to control the pace, keep it slow. Yeah. Keep it half-court basketball. As long as they do that, rebound the ball, I think they'll be fine. But like I said, turnovers, fast breaks, that's Miami all day. They'll end up – this game could get ugly pretty quick if Purdue can't keep control of the ball and keep Miami out of transition.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I picked Purdue to go pretty far in the tournament.
As I did.
Just because I think they're just playing their best basketball. After what feels like a couple of months of being inconsistent, it finally feels like things are starting to click. Where you've had seasons with Purdue where they would play great for the majority of the season, then they would just get to the Big Ten tournament and get bounced after a game or two, and then they would get into the NCAA tournament and have a horrific loss like they have to St. Peter's and Fairleigh Dickinson. Like I just feel like this team has finally figured it out. They finally matured and said, screw it. This is our last chance for a lot of these guys, including Fletcher, Trey, Braden, Oscar. Like, this is it. Like, some of these guys are going to be done with basketball, playing it forever. I mean, some guys are going to go play in Europe. I mean, this is it.
This is it. I will say, though, I believe in this game, Braden Smith should wear number 41. I think it is official. He needs to change his number to number 41 because he played crazy when he put on that number 41 jersey.
He did. I didn't know that he ripped it. I didn't see it happen live or the replay. I didn't see it. I must have been doing something else when they did it. But I was like, he's wearing 41. What is going on? And then they showed like a graphic since he changed into 41. He had all these numbers and was just performing better. And because Purdue, I think their NIL store started selling the 41 jersey. So that would be funny. I don't think
$5. Not that I looked.
No.
I didn't look or anything.
Oh, of course not. Of course not. Goodness.
Come on, I gotta support, man. Gotta support.
No,
not that I got one and order one or anything.
No, of course not.
Nah, not me.
But before we moved on to more bigger NCAA thoughts, I did want to mention here locally that we had two teams that were in the NAIA quarterfinals. We had the Grace men's basketball team. They lost in the quarterfinals yesterday to Ave Maria. And then we had
who?
They're a team in Florida. They're a team. That's all I could tell you. I was looking up results yesterday.
You're usually the college guy. I mean, they're in Florida. That's more than what I know. So
again, I couldn't have told you where it was before I looked it up yesterday. If you told me where's Ave Maria, I couldn't have told. I probably would have said somewhere on the East Coast, but I wouldn't have been as specific as Florida. Then we had the St. Francis women. They lost to the number 1 seed Dort. You know where Dort's at? Could you guess where Dort College is at?
Dort?
Neither Dort. DORDT.
Nah, brother.
Nah. See, it's not as fun with NAIA schools. They're just kind of weird. Some of them. Dort was the number 1 seed in the NAIA tournament. St. Francis lost by double digits in that one, but it was the first time it was their 12th appearance in the quarterfinals since 1997. So nice. Big things. Yeah. So big things going on here locally for some of our local teams. Unfortunately, they were eliminated yesterday, but nonetheless of getting to that far in the tournament was
I'll go ahead and show this comment because I want to know how everybody's bracket's doing. This is mine. This is my update. I was picking on Tim for watching us. He has a practice today that he's getting ready for. And he reminded me and everyone that I'm in 22nd place in our bracket challenge. Appreciate that.
Yep.
Needed that humbling this morning.
Good.
Thanks, Tim.
Good. Hey, he'll see you later.
My first round was rough. I always do this, and I always say I won't do it. I get way too upset happy. Like I don't understand why I do it. I tell myself before every time I fill it out, man, don't be upset happy this time.
Don't do it.
Don't be upset happy this time, and I still freaking do it. I still do it. I don't know why. And then I do that, and then one team that I'm like high on that will lose in the first round, like BYU. I did not see them losing to Texas. I just did it. And that's one I had BYU going, I think, to the Sweet 16, I believe. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I had them making a decent run. Stuff like that messes me up. It's very easy to overthink when you fill out the bracket, where a lot of these people, like you look at our standings, and our top of our standings. One of the people probably hasn't watched the game since I was born, and they're leading the bracket challenge. What are we?
Yeah. You got to make sure he's subscribed. Is he subscribed to the YouTube channel?
I have to double check. It doesn't show all of them. It only shows like a number of them.
Okay. Well, we'll have to make sure and comb through there.
Yeah, I might have to help him out.
Might have to send out a group email like, hey, make sure you guys are subscribed or you're not going to win the gift card. So yes, I was intrigued by Darius Acuff and his performance. As you were scrolling there, I was looking through on in his last 5 games here in the postseason, including the SEC tournament, he's averaging 30 points per game, 7.2 assists, shooting 45% and 48% from 3.
That's crazy. That's 2K numbers on rookie.
I watching the end of that game,
48% from 3.
From 3, yes.
48.
Yes, he could do anything he wanted to on the court near the end of that game. Everybody knew the ball was going to him. He could do whatever he wanted, and was able to either get to the rim or do a step back for a 3. He's going to be really good in the pros. And you mentioned BYU. I think AJ DeBansta is also going to be good. He scored, I think it was over 30, I think, against Texas, but nobody else was able to help him out on that BYU squad. He was the only thing that was really working for them this past weekend. And I think I'm always intrigued by these guys and how they perform, because the Boozers didn't have a great performance in Siena. And did you see their comments? Or it wasn't their comments, but one of their big guys' comments, like they thought it was going to be a cakewalk, quote unquote, against Siena. And
they said that?
Yes, that was an actual quote after the game. They thought it was going to be cakewalk, and that kind of is like a bad reflection on John Shire, like to not have your team prepared. And I think he even said that Jerry McNamara outcoached him in that game, and is like, how are you not? It's the NCAA tournament. Do you want to be the 3rd number 1 seed to get upset by a 16 seed? Because it almost happened. Siena was leading late in that game.
They got lucky that Siena had like 5 or 6 guys in their rotation and got lucky because
they only had 5. They only played 5 the entire.
Right, they had 5. Yep.
They only played 5 the entire game. Like that first of all is insane to do that. Like those guys were just gassed by the end. They couldn't make a shot. They couldn't do anything because
lost that game. And
Duke, they should have. That because
did you see our bracket challenge and look down at everybody's picks? It's like 80% Duke.
It's Duke, Arizona, or Michigan. That's it. Like those are all the picks. And I mean, granted, I picked Michigan, so it's like it was either going to be one of those 2 teams.
Dad picked Houston.
It's not a bad pick, but it's just like I don't know if I trust that team when it comes in against higher level competition.
That's proof that he hasn't watched basketball since I was born. He picked Houston because he probably still thinks Akeem Olajuwon's still on that team. Isn't Akeem Olajuwon on that team?
Oh yeah. Man,
I had to. My bad. Got that out there. My bad.
But I'd say, like, just speaking on to, there's even no double-digit seeds playing today. So that's just why it feels like all the favorites, at least in certain areas of the bracket, have just won. And we've had some good games, like I said. And I just feel like it's been a good tournament. That's not what I'm saying. It just feels like I've been a little underwhelmed. You feel like you wanted more moments, more buzzer beaters, and it's just been very infrequent how we've gotten there. But yeah. I am excited.
VCU had a good game against North Carolina, but then after that pretty much laid an egg.
Yeah, and it feels like that probably cost them. Yeah, it feels like that cost Hubert Davis's job at North Carolina. Just the way it's been talking. I think it was Pete Thamel yesterday said that there was like going to be discussion about if he is going to still have his job. I think the administration was meeting today or something like that.
Wow, really?
I think so. Unless it was some sort of fake tweet, but they are discussing his future.
What was the best upset, do you think, in the first round? What was your favorite upset?
It was probably High Point over Wisconsin because Chase Johnston. I love these type of players, and it's most all the time white dudes who it was. I can't remember his first name, but Golke from was it Oakland a couple years ago, where all he does is shoot is threes. He doesn't take any twos. And Chase Johnston is one of those guys for High Point that all he does is just shoot threes. His first 2-point make was on the layup against Wisconsin to win that game. That was his first 2-point made basket all season long. And it comes in the biggest moment of his career, pretty much. So that would probably be my best one.
That was a good one.
So,
I went VCU. Yeah. That's why I asked. VCU for me, I have a good friend of mine that is a VCU alum, so I'm always happy to see when they do good things. Them beat North Carolina for me felt good. North Carolina is, probably one of the most respected college basketball programs of all time. And VCU, this, random school that, has made the tournament a few times. That's still a big victory for them. Although North Carolina was playing without one of their best players, still pretty important to get that victory for VCU. And the game I feel like the game wasn't as close as the final score was. I felt like VCU beat them pretty soundly. So I loved VCU beat North Carolina. For me, that was the biggest, best first round upset for me. But yeah, High Point, again, it makes me upset just because that was an upset I picked and then went back through and changed it. So I'm a little bitter with that victory. It didn't feel as good. If I would have stuck with my gut and picked it, then I would feel a lot better about it. But no, I can't pick that game. I can't do it.
Yeah, I had Wisconsin going pretty far, or at least to the Sweet 16. So that one was kind of a disappointing pick. Yeah, North Carolina was out top without projected top 5 pick Caleb Wilson. He missed the final 9 games with a hand and thumb injury. And yeah, according to this ESPN article published yesterday afternoon, the North Carolina officials are in discussions with Coach Hubert Davis about his future at the school. His decision and potential exit plan are expected to unfold in the coming days. So probably either today or tomorrow we'll find out if Hubert Davis is still at North Carolina. And that's going to be
standards there. They got very high standards there. So when you're not, even more so than you Hoosiers fans.
I think the expectations are probably similar, but just one program has actually lived up to those more recently than one. It's still
some are living in the 2000s, post 2000s, and another fan base is still living in the 80s.
You're just trying to get me started, man. I didn't
say any names.
You didn't have to. You know what you're doing. I don't want to talk about that team. I don't want to talk about them. And we're just going to move on. We're just going to move on because North Carolina, they were in the Final Four like 3 years ago, I want to say 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, you can't. They were even like a preseason number 1 team at one point. And I know this isn't really local to Indiana, but it just feels like that's the program that is one of the blue bloods, and to have a coach get fired after that performance, and especially I think his saving grace might be that he didn't have Caleb Wilson in the game because they probably would have performed better. It probably wouldn't have been a 19-point comeback, but neither here nor there. So what other exciting thoughts do you have? Tim chiming in. He's still listening. He's still listening. He's
checking.
He's checking.
Making sure. Make sure he's still there.
Yeah.
It's all good. He has bragging rights right now because of the bracket challenge. He's doing pretty well. But as we pointed out, another leader hasn't watched a game since I've been born. So that tells you everything about the bracket challenge.
Yeah.
You can just guess. You can just guess. You can just, I think they'll win. Yeah. You can just guess and get lucky sometimes. So
it feels like it's always the person, and I have one at my day job as well in the office. It always feels like it's the person who doesn't watch basketball at all, or will just watch one game and like, oh, I know this team, or they pick on what team sounds the best or their favorite color on the team, and it was like that's and then they end up doing the best in the bracket challenge. You're like, how am I losing to this person when I have suffered and sacrificed my time and to sit down on the couch and watch basketball? But you're just like, how am I losing this bracket challenge to this person? I don't get it. I don't get it.
Like I said, one of our top people I know personally has not watched a game in a long time, and they have Houston winning. And so I made the joke earlier that they still think Akeem Olajuwon's on the Houston Cougars. 83-84 runners up, but never won a championship. Still thinks that they're going to win the championship. So there you go. I got to find something to be mad about, because being in 22nd place in my own bracket challenge doesn't feel very good.
Yeah.
I can't win anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
Well, I told you last week that if you do win, I'll get you something. I'll take you out. I'll instead of giving the gift card to somebody else, which I'm still gonna do. Whoever comes in second, we can't win it. Whoever the non-host winner is, I'll say. But if you end up winning by some miracle at this point now, then I'll take you out to dinner.
I already don't have a Final Four team.
Really? That sucks. You get through the first weekend and one of your Final Four teams is out. That makes it really hard to move up the standings. So who is your one Final Four team that's out?
I'm not even gonna say it.
All right.
If you guess it, then I will say yes, but I'm not even gonna say it. I don't even want to say it. I'm not upset about it.
Now I'm gonna have to look and see.
We're gonna move on just like we do every time I mention the Hoosiers. We're gonna move on. Next. Yeah, but I've already don't have a Final Four team.
Did you have Gonzaga?
No, absolutely not.
Did you have BYU? You had BYU, didn't you?
No,
you're not. Okay, I thought you were a big AJ DeBansta guy.
Yeah, I mean, I had them going decent in the tournament, but not Final Four. It's been rough. And then Elite Eight.
You had Miami of Ohio, didn't you?
Yeah, right. I told you they're going to get the doors blown off them in the first round, and what happened? The game wasn't even close. Tennessee destroyed them, didn't they?
Yeah, it was a rough go for that.
All that rah-rah to get in the tournament and got destroyed.
Hey, they brought some
Tennessee.
You knew they were going to run up against one of these teams that was just more athletic, more skilled, bigger, stronger, faster, and it just so happened to be Tennessee. And the first four game against SMU was a lot of fun, though. That especially with them just being so close to Dayton, and the environment for that game was just an entertaining game. Feels like they couldn't miss a three in that game. So that was fun. You had Vanderbilt, didn't you? Going to the Final Four? No. I'm just trying to throw out good. Louisville. That's the only.
I'm surprised it's this hard for you to figure out who it is. No,
I'm just going through the bracket here, and I can't find any of these teams that have lost. I was like, why would he pick?
Really not that hard.
Why would he pick Santa Clara to go to that far? I don't know.
No, we've already talked about them.
You picked North Carolina?
I did.
Oh wow! Even without Caleb, you knew they didn't have Caleb Wilson. Come on.
I'm not a fan of North Carolina, but I love North Carolina. I thought they could have had a magical run. Somebody would step up, have this magical story.
Nope.
Even without Caleb Wilson, it still made this deep run.
Nope.
I actually think Hubert Davis does a good job with that program. I'm a little surprised that they're doing this.
Yeah, I think he's going to be saved. It's a weird way to say that because he's been a good coach. I don't want to say great, but he, like I said, had this team playing in the Final Four recently, and it goes to show you, and it just speaks larger volumes on it's becoming more of and more. What have you done for me lately? Just because of how you can overturn your roster year to year, even though on this North Carolina roster, they had a guy in Seth Trimble who has been there all 4 years. And it feels like North Carolina is one of these teams that keeps guys for, multiple years. Michigan State is a team that keeps guys longer. And that's just, it feels like one of these programs that, yes, they should be able to be in the Sweet 16 regardless every single year, no matter what. And when you have a performance like that, and especially when you lose, if they lose on like a last second shot, yeah, and it's a competitive game all the way throughout. But this was just an utter collapse, and that's what I think is stinging the most.
Yeah, I agree. It's like the reason I picked North Carolina is just to explain. Like, so I know they got Houston in their bracket. Houston's a team where I've picked Houston. All seriousness, I've picked them like 3 years in a row to go like either to the championship, win the championship, one of those two. It's been like 3 years in a row, and I'm tired of being disappointed. I'm tired of it. I am over picking Houston. I'm done. So this year I said, you know what? I'm done picking Houston. And watch this be the first time. Watch this be the one time. Watch, I'm telling you. I hate these. I love doing bracket challenges, but I hate them at the same time because I always overthink it. But I look, Houston's in their bracket and Florida are the top 2 seeds. I'm just not really that high on either of them. Like, Florida's good, obviously, but like, I'm just really not that high on them. Like, I'm just not. So, yeah, I went North Carolina.
Well,
who's your Final Four?
My Final Four is, I believe, I think I went Michigan, Arizona. I'm really sure.
I think everyone has that.
Yes, it is. Come on. I had it pulled up. I can't remember it off the top of my head. I don't look at it every single day. Because most of the time I'm just like, okay, whatever. I have Kansas and Illinois on the one side and Michigan, Arizona on the other side. So I went a little off the board with half of my Final Four. I didn't want to go all number 1 seeds because I just hate doing that. I hate, even though last year it was all number 1 seeds, unfortunately. Even though we still had
what was
a really
that?
Good. It doesn't happen very often, I don't think.
No.
So that's why I was like, you know what? This feels like a year where if a team like Illinois can get hot and they've played well, and a team like Kansas, who I like Darren Patterson when he's playing, and it feels like he's another one of those guys like Darius Acuff that he can just get a shot whenever he can create, and it feels like if late in games they need something, he's able to do it. And then with Michigan and Arizona, I mean, those two teams are just stacked. So
how's everyone, if you're watching right now, how's your bracket doing? Give us an update so I can feel better about mine. Hopefully someone's doing worse. But I got to get this comment in before we get Keion on. What is this?
What is It feels like you and Tim are going to have some words on the baseball field later today.
As an IU fan, you win one championship and all of a sudden you're just this high and almighty. Win one time. See, this is, you find out how people are when you finally start winning.
Yep.
Tells you everything.
Yep.
Don't even get me started on IU basketball. Don't like. I might as well just host an IU basketball podcast.
I don't want to talk about them. I don't. Or we're just going to keep on moving on whenever the Hoosiers are being talked about. I don't want to talk about this team. And I don't even know if I want to talk about them next year. We'll see. We'll see what this roster looks like because it's going to look totally different. So we've been talking. Obviously, Tim has been in the chat. First practice outside today for your son's travel ball team. I have a coaches meeting for my son's t-ball team. Let's go. We have. It's going to be odd because obviously you and I have coached together. We coached a fall ball team out at Wallen. That's where my son's T-ball team will be at. There's an unbelievably amount of T-ball teams. I was crazy how many T-ball teams there are. There's over 20 T-ball teams, dude.
Yeah, and
like that's
a quick
insane.
disclaimer: if anybody watching this just so happens to maybe have some experience coaching baseball or know about baseball, Elmhurst Little League needs some coaches because they made a post yesterday. I think they're still looking for minors coaches. They need T-ball coaches. So if you're able to give back and aren't me, I'm done coaching. My coaching days are over. I've said that. It's just I don't have time. I can't do it. But someone that has the time, please give back to a game that we all love, baseball. Our local little leagues need it. They need the help. I know it's volunteer. I get it. I understand. But it's not, it's for the kids at the end of the day. Yeah. So Elmhurst Little League, I know for sure, is looking for coaches. And I think even St. Joe Little League was looking for coaches as well. So it's just something that it creates memories too. Because we had a good time coaching our fall ball team. That was some fun stuff.
Yes, it was. We had a lot of talented kids on that team. And we competed really well against some of those travel teams that we went up against. So, and it was a lot of fun. People always ask, like, what do you enjoy about coaching when I have, because I've coached a travel team in the past as well for a couple of years. And I've coached at the high school level as like a high school assistant. And it's just seeing the progression from the start of the season to the end for a lot of these kids, and some of them who aren't very skilled pick up a skill and are at least competent in that skill by the end of the season. You're just like, man, you feel good about it because you're actually doing something to help these kids improve, and you hope that it sticks with them and they continue to work on it. And it feels like a lot of the times you're teaching more than just baseball or a game. So that's what I enjoy the most about it. And I don't know if that's going to be the same experience when it comes to T-ball here in about a month, because I couldn't tell you how to run a T-ball practice because I'm hoping, because like I said, we have a coaches meeting today. And one of my questions is like, what the hell do you do for a T-ball practice? I can't just be going out there hitting grounders to them, because then some of these kids have never even touched a glove. So
smoking ground balls to a 4 or 5-year-old.
Like when we had our fall ball team, like what grade were those kids in? Like 6th, 7th?
7th, yeah, 12-year-olds.
So like they could, and most of them had playing experience, so you could hit a ground ball to them with a little bit of force behind it, and they could grab it. And some of those kids were like, you could hit it as hard as you wanted, and some of those kids would just pick them, and you're just like, dang, man, you're freaking skilled. But like you can't do that with T-ball. Like what am I supposed to do? Just
knockout? Knockout has become the kids' favorite. Like I did it because I helped coach a team in Elmhurst last year, and we did knockout, bro. They love knockout. Knockout's a famous game for basketball too. In practice where you knock out, you shoot, go head to head, and knockout in baseball we do grounders. And field it, make a good throw, you're still in. If you miss the grounder or make a bad throw, you're out. It's knockout. Yeah. So it's always fun stuff, man. So if you're able to give back, definitely do it. I have memories. I got to coach my son once. If you're not able to not be hard on your kid, I wouldn't advise to coach your son.
Yeah.
Because my son is good, so I have high expectations. Too high, so that's why I'm not coaching him anymore. But I have a lot of memories. This one kid that I coached that I picked on a lot. I picked on him all the time, Blake. Almost went yard on me. You remember that in practice?
Yeah, I do.
Bro, hit the fence, dude. I'm like, he hit it, and I'm like, man, I know this kid did not just go yard on me in practice.
Yeah,
that was the closest. I've never been hit. Nobody's ever hit a home run on me, and he hit that really good. And like this is a good size field for a 12-year-old.
Yeah,
and the memories like that with the kids, you'll never forget it. So if you can give back to local little leagues, they need people to volunteer, to give their time if they have it to these kids. So Elmhurst, I know, St. Joe, but all of them probably could use the help. So reach out if you can.
Yeah, I think a lot of people they don't want to coach or they don't want to umpire because of some unruly parents, which I understand. And I've dealt with stuff in the past, and I think we all have. I think fortunately we had a good group when we were coaching, good group of kids and a good group of parents as well.
Oh yes.
So I think we were kind of stress free in that regard.
Super.
With that, and plus I think especially in that league, every kid had to play. And we had a good rotation. I think you had me making sure that everybody was. I even charted out the innings of like who's going to play where this inning and who's going to play in this inning. So we were able to do that, and it worked out well. I think so. But yeah, we're super excited. So I'm super excited to be coaching the T-ball and hopefully things work out. I'll give you an update next week on how it goes and when.
Yeah, and
after
my schedule, I gotta pull up, man.
No, and I'm hoping to get at least the. I know the first their opening day, so the first game is May 2nd, and that's when everybody plays for the spring. So it'd probably be a really hectic day out there at Wallen, but super excited. And we're also super excited to have our next guest on the show, and that's Keion Brooks, small forward from the Noblesville Boom. Obviously, know him here locally for playing with Northside Legends, was a superstar, 5-star talent, ended up playing college basketball at Kentucky and also Washington. He's back playing in the Hoosier State. And DC and I were fortunate enough to catch up with him earlier this week. And now we welcome on a familiar guest to the show, Keion Brooks Jr., former Northside legend, and now he's with the Nashville Boom, playing in the NBA G League. Keion, thank you so much for joining the show. What's it been like, first off, to be back in the Hoosier State and playing in the state you grew up in?
I mean, first, I appreciate y'all for having me. It's been a while. Yeah, I appreciate y'all having me. Man, it's been fun. It's really been a blessing. Having my parents come to the games, my little brothers been able to come, grandparents. So it's been dope. And then, I take pride in being from Indiana, so being able to, wear that logo across my chest, I take a lot of pride in that.
Yeah, I got first thing I noticed, he mentioned before we even got on, he said it's been a while. And his voice is a little deeper. I don't know if you could tell, Brian. His voice is a little deeper since the last time we talked to him. That's the first thing I noticed. And this ain't little Keion no more, man.
Yeah.
And just talk about your journey so far. You started off at Kentucky, went to Washington, and you're playing professional ball now, man. Just talk about, kind of reflect on how your journey has been so far.
I mean, when I look back on it, it's been a lot of ups and downs, but it was never nothing I couldn't handle. I mean, I got a village, so even when it did feel like it was down, I still had people around me that was going to take care of me, make sure I seen the brighter days at the end of the day, seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. So, man, honestly, it's been fun, and I've been blessed. Man, this game, it took me all over the place. I done made friends that I had the rest of my life just because we both had common interest in playing basketball. So, man, it's been fun from going to Kentucky to Washington, now being a pro. Like, I couldn't ask for anything better. Like, it's all I ever want to do my whole life. Like, and if it keep going like this, at this point, I still haven't worked a day in my life yet because this is what I love to do.
Yeah, for you, you've obviously you had a stint in the NBA last year with the Pelicans, and you're in with, like I said, with the Boom right now, and down in Noblesville, just about an hour and a half south of Fort Wayne. What's the thing? And it's probably been a lot of things, but what's the main thing that you've learned over the last couple of years, just being in the NBA system? What have you learned about the game? How is the competition level been? What's it been like, and what have you learned?
I mean, the main thing I learned is just to be a professional at all times. No matter what you're doing, no matter where you at, you got to carry yourself as if you're a professional. I had a lot of vets that taught me that. Somebody that was very, very, important to my growth as a rookie was Alfred Payton. He played with us in the G League, and then when I got called up, he was up top with us with the Pelicans. So he just taught me how to move, man. Like, if you do want to go out like this and do that. And then even like in the games and stuff, I would come to the bench really asking him, like, yo, did I read that screen correctly? And he'd be like, no, you didn't. But he had walked me through it the whole time. So like having him and then, you know, all the other guys just helped me out the whole time. They really helped me, you know, understand what it's like to be a pro. And I kind of carry that with me every day now.
Yeah, and you're a guy, again, coming right here from the 260, playing the north side. And I just want to go back to that first time you stepped on an NBA court for the Pelicans. Take me in with you, man. The locker room all the way to the court. How are you feeling, and what was your mindset?
So we can rewind a little bit of kind of how it happened. So I got a two-way contract, right? And but at this time, I'm still sitting at home in Birmingham. We're getting ready to leave to go to Dallas. And the Pelicans are playing. I'm watching the game. And then I get a call while I'm laying down on the couch. And they're like, yo, Keion, we need you here tomorrow. So-and-so just hurt their shoulder. I'm like, dang, like, y'all in Minnesota and the G League is about to go to Dallas. I'm like, all right, I guess. But nah. So I went out there. We had practice. They had I want to say we had 2 games in 3 days against the Timberwolves. So you know, I went out there and they told me like, yo, probably not gonna play this first game, but the next one, like, be ready. You're gonna get some time. So man, I went out there and the first thing they told me when I got in the game was like, yeah, you got Ant-Man. I'm like, who? Like, Anthony Edwards. I'm like, all right, well, I guess y'all just throwing me into the fire for real. So,
Yeah.
So I went out there, had a pretty decent game. I mean, was able to hold my own, made a pull-up jumper. I think I made a free throw too. So, and it was good and it was fun. Then after that, man, I kind of settled in. It was real fun after that.
What's you know, give our audience, you know, a glimpse inside, you know, what's, you know, going from, you know, college and obviously you guys, you know, are traveling around on chartered flights and stuff like that. But, you know, what's it like going from, you know, college to, you know, the G League to the NBA? You know, what are those steps up in progression like, you know, as far as, you know, like what's life like on the road and just what's it like being around the other guys while you're out there as well?
The thing I learned from being in college to being a pro is it's gonna sound weird, but like as a pro, you can't take yourself too seriously. Like in college, you live and die by almost every single game, every single possession. Yep. And it's like in the pros, there's so many games and so many possessions, you can't do that. Like don't lose a game in college and be in the back of the bus laughing. Like that's a no-go. But in the pros, like, man, you play good, you play bad, however it is, we got a game probably tomorrow. So shake that off or keep feeling good about yourself. But you got to have a quick way to reset because stuff is coming at you so fast. And if you dwelling on what you just did last game, right, you're not gonna feel well for the next one.
Yeah, absolutely. And now you're playing for the Noblesville Boom, which are formerly known as the Fort Wayne Mad Ants. So local, but not extremely local like they used to be. Take it to the moment you found out you were coming back to Indiana to play for the Noblesville Boom.
It was really bittersweet because, you know, so far at that point in my career, all I knew was Birmingham with the Squadron and, you know, New Orleans up with the Pelicans. So, it was a little bit crazy. I kind of knew it was coming. I didn't know it was gonna happen that fast. I had spoken with our GM and stuff and said, you know, I think my time here is kind of up. Appreciate everything y'all did for me, but I think it's time for me to move on. See if there's new opportunities for me out there. And we had spoken about Indiana. He said there's a possibility. I can't guarantee that you'll be able to go home, but you know, I'll do my best for you. So I got up the next day expecting to play with Birmingham. So we went through our shoot around, and at the end of the shoot around, I just checked my phone, and my agent texted me, "It's done." I was like, "Oh wow, that came at me fast." So it was kind of I was excited, but also kind of sad because, you know, just the relationships I built in Birmingham was like, love them dudes. So it was a little weird at first, but when I got here, had to play the very next day. So, like I said, you got to reset fast, dog. So
Is that when you dropped that 40 ball?
yeah.
Talk about that game. That had to feel good, bro. That had to feel good.
Man, I felt amazing. Be able to come home. Man, I didn't know none of the plays. I didn't know none of the terminology. We only had like 7 or 8 dudes. I had to play the backup center basically. So it was just like, man, just go out and hoop. And then I take pride in being able to play well in front of my family, especially when they haven't been able to see me as much as they have in the past. So I'm like, man, I'll be damned if I go out here and stick it up and my mom and dad and drove down here to watch me hoop. So I felt good. It's just one of them days where, like, the rim felt like an ocean. So
yeah, it's not just the 40 points. You've had an overall increase in production since you've been with the Boom. What's kind of led to that? Is it just more playing time, or is you just feel like you're a little bit more unleashed and can play more freely?
I mean, it's a combination of both. The more you're out there, the more opportunity you have. So you got to always be appreciative of, or not take for granted the time that you're out on the floor. And then I think, and also just my role has just increased. All the 2As for Noblesville, they've been up. We haven't had any assignments come down either. So it's just our core group right here. We've just been able to rock out and try to figure out and win games with what we got. And in the team that we have right now, they rely on me to be able to make some plays for us to win. So that's kind of contributing to why my uptick in my production is going up.
I know I got some of the Pacers organization that follows me, so I'm saying this directly to them. And Keion don't have to weigh in on this. I'm sure he's not. I don't expect him to, but I will. Y'all got 15 wins, bro, and you got a player in G League dropping 40 points. So what are we doing? What are we waiting on? Anyway, just had to get that off my chest. All seriousness, though. What's that like, though? You're scoring like this. You're playing at this level. Is it just one of those things where you just remain patient and just know, your time is coming and when the time is right?
Yeah, man. Like early in one of our first practices when I got to the G League my rookie year, Greg Monroe, he was one of our coaches. He came down and he said something that stuck with me. He just said, man, I know nobody like really aspires to be in the G League. Like it's kind of it's like a transitional league, a development league, really good league though. But if no kid wrote on their notebook or in their journal when they was a little kid, like, yeah, I want to be in the G. Like, nah, you want to make money playing in the NBA or you want to play in the big league overseas. But he told us, like, yo, you got to be where your feet are. And that stuck with me. Like every single day I just think about, man, just be where I am, where I'm at today. So I know I'm talented enough to play in the NBA. I feel like I've proven it, but the opportunity right now just isn't directly in front of me. But I do have opportunity to prove it here in the G League every single day. So I just take that approach, and man, it helps me stay even keel. Because if you get to looking at what other people are doing and trying to see what their journey look like, man, you'll go crazy.
Final one before we get you out of here, where you're joining us during the NCAA tournament going on the men's side. Is there any team that you're watching? I mean, obviously, Kentucky's, playing the day we're recording right now. Any team that you're watching and any team we should be looking out for?
Man, it's a good field of teams that's playing right now. And I feel like a lot of teams playing at a super high level. I'm not gonna lie, man. I like Arkansas. I like A-Cup.
Oh, yeah.
I like A-Cup a lot. He makes all the right plays down the stretch, and he makes big shots. So I like him. I just like that side of the bracket really because I like Arizona too. I feel like that side of the bracket, those two teams kind of got a good draw. And then with Wisconsin losing the High Point yesterday, I think they kind of out of Arkansas way. So I feel like Arkansas can really make some noise. So between Arizona and Arkansas, I like whoever come out of that side of the bracket to win it all.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you so much for joining us here, Keion. Hope you have a continued successful season and continued successful run with the Boom, continued health, and hopefully in the near future we see you in an Indiana Pacers uniform maybe this season. And it'd be nice to see. I know DC wants it, and I know a lot of people probably here from the 260 would like to see you in one as well. But thank you so much for joining the show today.
I appreciate y'all. God bless.
Thank you to Keion Brooks Jr. for joining the show. And I think you and I, even after we got off the recording with him earlier this weekend, they were just like, man, he's obviously his voice sounds different, but it sounds like he's probably grown up a lot in these last few years, because we had him on the radio show before he left for Lalu. I think another time when he was in college. So this is the third time we've had him on the show, and
and that's just ours. Like, I had a basketball podcast called The Crossover before that. So I talked to him as a sophomore on the pod, and then again as a junior, and then we brought him on our show before he left for Lalu. And then we had him on, I think, once in college. And then that's it. We haven't had him since then. Yeah. So the last time we talked to Keion was he was like 18, 19 years old.
Right. Yeah. So he sounds different, is stuck to that media training, and has been able to done well. Like you said, he's playing really well right now, and we'll see if he can get a call up here in these last, I don't know, 10, 15 games for the Pacers. I honestly have no idea what the Pacers record is. I have not watched because they've been so bad, and it would behoove them to not call him up and have him play for a few games.
Pacers are 15-56, Brice. 15 wins, 56 losses.
That's so bad, man. That's so bad. And to think this team was in the NBA Finals a year ago.
Lost Halliburton, traded Matherin.
I think I've seen a lot of people saying that expect the Pacers to just flip the switch and go right back to being really good next year. I don't know if that's going to happen, because Halliburton will come back and they will have a high draft pick. We'll see who they get in the lottery, because I think it would be if they were to get Demancza, Boozer, Patterson, Acuff, like any one of those four, I think that would be
Acuff. That'd be crazy.
I think if they get any one of those guys, I don't know. The lottery is probably not for a few months or so, but
plus we know that's rigged anyway.
You can't keep giving it to the Jazz. That's all I gotta say. They've been
Mavericks got the number one pick conveniently after losing Doncic.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm excited to see what Keion can continue to do. Hopefully, he continues to play at this high level. He's been playing.
Love it.
He's been playing well for a long time, but he's kind of taken up a whole nother level.
18 points a game this season.
Yeah. So
6 rebounds and 3 assists.
And has the ability to score 40 points in a game. I mean, that's crazy.
I understand. So I love his picks too. Arkansas or Arizona. So he likes Arkansas or Arizona to win the tournament.
Yeah.
Arkansas for obvious reasons, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, that's I had to stay up and watch that game to the end, because obviously, if you couldn't tell, that was a pre-recorded interview, and like if he mentioned Arkansas and they ended up losing, I might have cut that part. Out just to make not make Keion look bad.
Right. Yeah, that's true. I'm glad you were up doing that, because I wasn't even thinking about it.
But Acuff, he was spot on with Acuff, because Acuff was able to, will Arkansas to that victory last night. So
That's right. I mean, Keion he know a little bit about basketball.
No, it's not the first time. It's not the first time we've asked him about some teams in the NCAA tournament. I feel like one of the last times we had him on, it was around the NCAA March Madness, and he was talking about some teams. So, yeah,
It's just spot on. I'm glad he tried to join our bracket challenge too late.
Oh, he did try to join it?
He tried to join, and he hit me back, and he's like, it's saying it's closed, and it's because the games have started. Once the games start, they cut off joining groups. So
because he joined. We recorded with him on Friday, so yeah, it
probably a good thing because he probably would be destroying us right now.
I don't know. Hunter's doing pretty good. So is Tim as well. So a lot more to come here on the show with the NCAA tournament. Purdue is playing right now as we speak, so we'll probably get off here shortly just to make sure we're tuned into that game, and we'll talk about the Boilers next week if they are still playing.
They will
be. You and I both agree on that they both will continue to be playing deep into this tournament, and we'll have some state finals coverage next week as well, as we have two teams from the 260 down in Indianapolis.
I also want to bring on Lures coach Seth Coughing. I know they lost, but still a great run for Lures as well. I think I might reach out to Coach Coughing and see if he can come on next week too, just to catch up with the program. He's also the principal at Lures.
Yeah.
So
I think that'd be great to get a perspective because his program has done really well these last.
That also wasn't really expected to. I mean, they got a decent basketball program. But if you would have told me they would have made it this far in the tournament, I probably thought you were lying.
Yeah, I'm always interested in that. And it's always with Lures and Concordia to a certain extent. But you're going up against and playing these 4 and in football 5 and 6A schools all year long. And then you get into the tournament where you're playing in class 2A or 3A for football certain years, depending on the success factor.
Yeah, they'll move up next year too in football.
Yeah, so it's just like how is it going from playing these much bigger schools to playing these smaller schools? And a lot of the time they make it deep into the postseason, at least winning sectionals and regional titles. They were just one game short this year to making it to the state finals of basketball. But speaks to what Coach Coughing has done. And going back to, I covered him when he was at Garrett. And I know he's done a lot of good things, and he's a good coach as well. So we'll see if we can get him on sometime throughout the week. I know we'll have some high school baseball coverage this week as well. If you have been following on our socials, followed the 260 dugout as well. DC's been doing a great job. Just went up to DeKalb. Was up in Waterloo.
My first time there since high school, brother.
Yeah, went up there and talked to Coach Brice and some Barons up there. And
tomorrow I'll be at Homestead. And so a lot of high school baseball coverage coming out from the 260 dugout. We'll have some interviews as well. It is High School Baseball Media Day is coming up this week, organized by DC Hendricks. He's done a great job. Got a lot of content coming out of there. I know some of the news stations will be out there as well. So just wanted to compliment you, DC, on that and organizing that. First ever.
Doing a great job covering high school baseball. And also want to give a shout out to our good friend Jim Shevlin. If you guys have been following on social media, he has been ill recently, but seems to be doing better. According to DC, has been reaching and talking to him through this past weekend, and hope Jim can have a speedy recovery and is hopefully continue to do well, because that man works harder than anybody I know. And he's been a friend of ours, a friend of the show. You and I have both worked with him, and hope he can continue to get better health wise. So
he had open heart surgery.
Yeah,
on Thursday.
Yep,
and is doing well. I checked my email yesterday, and he's emailing me yesterday about baseball stuff.
Oh, Jim,
like, Shovey,
relax, man.
Relax. You just had open heart surgery, Shovey. He's like, the work can't stop.
Oh, God bless.
Shout out, Shovey, man. He's still he expects to be back coaching Leo in late April, he said, but it's going to be a little road of recovery.
Jeez.
He's still trying to coach.
He should take the season off, man. I mean, if you go,
Me and you
like
know him better than that. You know he's not.
yeah, he's gonna be out there.
Yeah,
He's gonna be out there working. The man loves baseball. He's always been a diehard baseball guy, especially working in the high school coaches scene here for quite some time. And also, we did get an update yesterday on Maya Epps, as we were on our show last week, and she was involved in a car accident, was in stable condition. We just saw yesterday that she is now home and doing well as well. So continue a lot of the stories that came out in the last week saying it's going to be a long road for recovery for her, but all signs are pointing that she will make a full recovery. So that is good news. And we'll see if when and if it's probably a matter of when she will be able to step back on the basketball court. But that'll probably be a long road coming, but hopefully all the best for her as well. Anything else before we get out of here, DC?
Nah, you've said it all. Again, I just want to thank everyone that tunes in each and every week, all the subscribers, all the interaction that we get throughout the show. We appreciate you. All the people that joined our bracket challenge, appreciate you guys. Make sure if you're in our bracket challenge, especially if you're at the top and have a chance to win, make sure, but any of you, make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube. I know a lot of you are, but be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow us everywhere at Brice and DC. Search for the Sideline Sports Show on YouTube and be sure to follow us, especially if you're in our bracket challenge, because that's the key. You gotta be subscribed to our YouTube channel in order to
otherwise that gift card is going to DC Hendricks.
You know what? I got a big family, so that $100 can go pretty far. So all seriousness, just thank everyone for tuning in and supporting the podcast. Everyone, like Brice said, the baseball podcast is taking off as well. Everybody's supporting that. So look forward to some media day coverage for high school baseball coming up. I got a lot of media members showing up. Most of the schools that you can, pretty much all of them except a couple, will be there. So it's gonna be a big week, a busy week, but looking forward to it. So appreciate everyone.
Yeah, I'm super excited. I would love to get out to some high school games this year as well. Try to fit it in with my T-ball schedule. So, and then also want to get out to some games for your son's team as well. So you guys are playing locally here, so it shouldn't be hard to do. So super excited about that. That's DC Hendricks. I'm Brice Vance. This is the Sideline Sports Show. We are part of the Get Indiana Podcast Network. Make sure you go to getindiana.com. You can find all the things. You can find our show, anything about the Hoosier State you are interested in, you can find it on there. Make sure you subscribe to their newsletter at the top of getindiana.com. Once again, that's DC Hendricks. Make sure you subscribe to the show. I'm Brice Vance. This has been the Sideline Sports Show, and we'll see you next week.